Hello, everyone. Today is May 30th, 2022. Happy Memorial Day. Today is Memorial Day. Today, I'm going to be going over Bitcoin. As you can see here, I got the Heikinashi set up on Bitcoin. I'm just going to add a quick indicator. Um, so I've been trading Bitcoin since it was $250. I should be rich, but I'm not. I lost some money in option trading and things like that, but I've always had success with cryptocurrency. I've always been pretty right about it. Not always, obviously, no one's ever really 100% right about it. Anyways, getting into this, let's see here. We don't want that. We want to change this. Whatever, 9. Okay, that's fine. So, anyways, you see here Bitcoin's starting to kind of reverse, and I expect it to reverse for a couple of days here. One thing that people, look at Bitcoin as a hedge. I do not look at Bitcoin as a hedge, okay? Bitcoin is not, to me, a hedge against the general market. I don't understand how, after so many years of data, people think it is a hedge. For obvious reasons. Like when the stock market crashes, it crashes with it. I think it was like a hedge in some ways because this crash happened so fast, but then it rebounded. I'm looking at the S&P 500 here. Like, if you look to, where's Bitcoin? There it is. It coincided with it. Like when this was COVID, this is the run up of the S&P to with Bitcoin, right? So you look at these charts, they're not exact, obviously, but it bubbled up with it and it crashes with it too. So it's not really a hedge. I see gold and silver as more of a hedge. Just as, when you looked at, here, let's go to gold. Gold crashes too with it, but you see how gold was a little bit more direct afterwards, and then gold sold off as it continued to balloon. So I see gold and silver. If you were looking to hedge against the market, I suggest more gold and silver. To me, Bitcoin right now is at a very fragile state. I think on the short term, you could see this really move upward. No doubt about it. Just as, when you look at the S&P, and I try to pay attention to the Heikinashi, it's pretty spot on. Right now, you're seeing a reversal upward, and I think this is going to continue into this Memorial Day week or whatever. But you look at the weekly too of the S&P 500. You see a little candle, like a star candlestick here. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to reverse, but it does give a little bit more leeway. Right now, this is pretty bearish, but at the same time, it's hard to be bearish in this market because there's so much liquidity and money printing and things like that. They did start to raise interest rates, the Fed, but I really don't think that has too much bearing on things because there's so much liquidity, right? Even if they move the interest rate up, it's not going to affect it right away like people think it is. So much. It did a little bit, so. But basically, my thing with Bitcoin is this is going to be a bad trade going into this week. I don't think it's going to be long term. Maybe it tests some highs around here. I just don't. It's not, to me, there's no way that it's going to surpass all time highs with Bitcoin. I think people saw altcoins get blown out of the water, which I kind of expected. People need to realize something, that cryptocurrency is access keys to software. And to me, Bitcoin has become the exact opposite of what it was created for. And there's so much greed in this sector that it has become the opposite of what crypto isn't made to be. People say crypto is made to be a store of value, right? That's their argument. For me, someone who's been studying this since 2016 and was in the space when it wasn't looked at like that, to me, it's the opposite of a store of value. It's supposed to be made for transactions. The whole reason cryptocurrency was created was kind of to take away power from the banks and to take away power from third parties who took money for transactions fees in the sense of decentralization. Bitcoin is, first of all, you can't spend Bitcoin because the transaction fees are so high. Now people will be like, oh, there's altcoins that do that. But the problem with that is right now the psychology and this consensus is to not spend your crypto. Like no one spends their crypto because they see it as a store of value or an asset that's going to increase over time. And people say, oh, well, Bitcoin's deflationary, the dollar's just inflated. Cryptocurrency has become way more inflationary in the sense that crypto itself is inflationary because people just fork coins or spin off coins. It becomes inflationary in that sense. So the space itself is inflationary. Perhaps Bitcoin is deflationary, right? Itself, Bitcoin is deflationary, but the space itself is inflationary. And, to me, again, the whole store of value argument is really going to end up hurting people. And if the Fed wants to crash Bitcoin, they can. Like people are like, oh, it's not, possible. It's like our way to end things. I just think that there's so much greed now in this space that it's really become just as bad as the dollar. And remember, the love for money is the root of all evil, and that includes Bitcoin as a form of money. So I've been in the space since 2015 actually. This is where I bought my first crypto, and I rode this wave when I was 23. Did extremely well. I sold like right around the top. I saw it as a bubble. And then I bought back in here and rode this wave too. And then I got into shorting not Bitcoin, but markets like right here, which was bad. Just as like things continued to go up and I lost a good sum of money. So I'm not perfect. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. It's not financial advice. Yeah. So on the short term, I'd say Bitcoin is a good play, or cryptocurrencies are, just because they've gotten beaten to shit. And right now you're starting to see a bounce going into the week, which this is kind of a late delay, but you could see it's going to probably reverse. It's above the 10 now, or the 9, I should say. You look on I like looking at the weekly too, because if you're planning on, trading it weekly, like you're not day trading it, which day trading is a joke. There's no such thing. It's like weekly trading or swing trading. I could see that being a thing, but you know what I mean. So this right now looks like you can see these candles starting to reverse. I think it's going to definitely go up over the next couple of weeks. I think just the market in general, like everything's gotten so beaten down, like even the S&P too, where we're going to see some gains on the short term. It's hard to say what's going to happen on the long term here. I think there's still a lot of liquidity. This seems kind of like a normal correction, and so I think that you got to be cautious, and it's more of a trade right now. Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are versus like this being a longer haul. I think long term, this is my theory long term, this thing can go all the way back down to like 20,000, even like lower. I think that cryptocurrency, people don't realize that this thing was trading, back here at $400. I think like the exponential rise with crypto is out of gas. Like this thing's out of gas. I think, people made so much money and whales made so much money, they want lower prices now. And I think that's just as, people got to understand it's not tied to an asset. And I get that it's too big to fail. I'm not saying that crypto is going to go to zero. I'm not one of those people. But I think it's really going to shock people how low cryptocurrency goes. And it is in a bear market. Like, this is extremely bearish. Yes, you're going to get upswings during a bear market, but I think we could honestly test as low as 15,000 or 20,000. I think this is a good area maybe not to start buying. I think it's so risky. I think that you got to really see it surprise people. Like once people are in total shock and really done with the space and crypto's a scam again, like crypto goes through these psychological waves more than anything. And when people are like crypto crazy, that's when you sell. And that was this time right here. Like people were NFTs, this, everything was crypto. I remember getting in the space when no one's in it, and now there's MLB umpires with an FTX thing, which is like a crypto exchange. Obviously people know that in the MLB. To me, it's like this is overvalued. Right now I'm personally in cannabis stocks just because I see those as beaten down to shit. And you could check out my other video about Tilray, which is a specific stock I'm in, and I buy like option long calls on that. I still think it's a good time to be, right now is a good time to be long versus like short. Just as you're seeing a reversal. Tomorrow should be interesting. I think we're going to expect more buying. Do I think the S&P will break all-time highs? It's really hard to know. I think that you're going to have to play things by ear and reevaluate as it's kind of going up. I think there's a lot of buying support right now. And with the reversal, you're going to see Bitcoin go up as well. But do I think it's going to break all-time highs? No, I do not. I think that's not for a long time, like very far in the future. Like I think we're going to go back down to like 20,000 or hit new lows. Like you see here, this hit a new low of 25, which it broke through this of 28. I think it's going to retest that eventually. Right now, it's going to fizzle up. I don't think it's going to be as robust as this move, but it could be as robust as going up to like 54 or even like 50, something like that. So I don't think it's going to be an impossible thing for sure. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. I just would be careful. If you want to do it as a trade, that makes sense to me. Like as a swing trade where this kind of bubbles up over the next couple weeks. I think that's definitely a thing. I think Bitcoin is going to really get hit in the long term. And I don't see it as a hedge against the market. I see it as it coincides with the market too much. If you want to hedge, then you just short. Or like if you think about it, hedging, like, okay, what's a direct my thing is like you don't want so many dominoes to fall over to get results. Like, oh, well, the stocks crash, then it bounces, then Bitcoin goes up a lot. It's like, no, you should probably just do the stocks crash and you short the market and then you make money shorting. Like, versus this has to happen, this has to happen, then this has to happen. I think gold is also a hedge, more so on the long side. Like if you're going to long something, then gold would be that long. I know people are really bored with gold, but there's gold stocks. Like you don't have to buy tangible gold or tangible metals. There's also gold stocks you could buy, but you have to buy a really good company. And I have some companies which I'll go over maybe in a different video. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I figured because Bitcoin is the only thing trading today. Right now it's up like 4%, back over 30,000. It looks like it's starting to gain some upward momentum. This is a pretty big green candle here. I like to look at the Heikin-Ashi. It's a little bit more accurate. I know my last video I didn't do the Heikin-Ashi, I just did candles, but this is a little bit more accurate. I think right now you gotta this is more of a trade. But there's so many stocks that have gotten beaten down over this period from like November to now that people are going to start buying again at these lower prices, and we're not in a state of like crash. I think that people thought that, and I thought the stock market was going to crash way back here. Like I was wrong. Okay, I was starting to go short here, and I got blew out of the water. So I'm not always right. No one really is. Those that say they are, they're just egotistical. You gotta admit when you're wrong, and so yeah. But I think I do have a lot of experience in the cryptocurrency space, enough to kind of share my input. So basically, the play is short term. But I think long term people are going to get really burned on crypto. I think they're really underestimating how low some of the stuff can go. I mean, you already saw it here. You look at Ether off its all-time high from 4,700 to 1,800. And, there's so much stupidity in this space right now that it's bound to really wipe people out. I mean, this stuff can go down really low. Like people think crypto is this joke that it just goes up forever, which it kind of does. But at the same time, there's going to be points where people really get washed out and the market's way overvalued. And I think once people are in that state right now, like where they realize they got hurt, holding cryptocurrency, and they realize it's not what people made it out to be. And soon investors get tired. I think right now you're going to see a short-term buyback just because it got hurt so bad. Like I've repeated myself 100 times now. But I think in the long term, we're going to see a bear market where things could go as low as like 20,000 or even lower. The reality of crypto is you want to buy when it's not moving, like right here or down here, like when it's not so volatile. Like you see this, the price has, yeah, sure, it moves up and down, but it's not really making huge swings. Like this is a huge swing, right? You're not going to want to buy in here. Or you could buy here, I guess, but that's like a trade, right? Like this is just so volatile of a move that you'd be buying on a trade because now you're below this buying point and it's going to take a little bit to get back. So this is a trading point. It's not an investment point. I'm going to wait till it fizzles out down here and it just is flat, like when it's down here. When crypto is not volatile, that's when you buy. When it's volatile, it's just too much, it's too much risk. And I don't know. I've taken on a lot of risk in my life, but I'm not buying. I'm not even trading this. So, I'm not trading crypto right now, but so yeah, you can check out my past video where I recommended a cannabis stock, and I think stocks suck compared to cryptocurrency. Just from my experience, I've only lost money in stocks and trading options and things. Or crypto's a better asset, but it's not at the same time, depending on the market conditions. So, all right, that's all I got today. Peace.